I think we're on day 14 here. Day 14. Last we left off, we'd made a beautiful mall. We'd made a live, laugh, love. That's probably the top most important thing. I'm sorry I didn't lead with that. I should have led with that. That's obvious. Live, laugh, love. We made a sorting system and an auto furnace in the mall. So now when we mine, we drop stuff in here. We drop the whole bag in there. Comes up here, all the ore gets sorted, stacked, loaded into a silo, and then fed through an auto furnace. So most of that session was spent just programming this thing and getting it to do its thing correctly. So this guy will take everything in a little smelt stacks of 50, dump them into another sorting system, which goes into our interior facing mall. Super useful. Way better for mining now than it used to be. And really easy to sync up with any sort of resource production. If we get some deep miners going, we can just feed them straight in. And just have like a passive supply of ready to go materials. I was thinking last night as well, and I'm pretty sure there's everything that we need to write a little bit of programming so that we can trigger stuff to come out of these chutes, and then it'll all just enter a merged chute, which can have like a dial to switch between different targets of where all that stuff's gonna go. So we could set it up to have like a dial for, this could be like 1, 2, 3, that could be 4. You could just like push a button and have it go into the correct machine, and then with a little bit more programming, you could programmatically check to see what's the machine low on, and make sure it always has like 200 of each material going. You could even use that to another step or two. You could plug that into the furnace we've got here, and with a little bit more programming, you could specify like what temperature and pressure it's going for, and then it could create the more advanced ingots automatically. So that's a lot. I was thinking about that. I think that's gonna take days. That's stuff I haven't done before at all, but I also think it could come in little useful pieces one at a time. Just being able to like have a dial and click buttons and have it go to the right machine is useful without any extra programming. And then you can just add one thing after another after another. So that's kind of fun thing to do. I think we need a little power right now. I was thinking just before we ran out of power, probably worth just like focusing on throwing down a couple of solar panels, just something in addition to the existing grid, instead of trying to do something better. But I do want to take a swing at making a, I forget what it's called. It's like some sort of turbine-y thing that'll take hot air on one side and just like turn that into energy and release cool air on the other side. We should definitely introduce one of those along our water line to help cool off the steam that we're creating. That could help a lot and return power, so we should do that for sure. But then I want to make one as just like a power generating farm, basically, where we could give it its own air collection. It would collect air during the when the sun is out and the temperature is very hot, during like the top of the day when it's hottest. We could capture that in a big container, and then we could use that with a little bit of automation on the we could like detect the battery levels in the line, and if we're below like 80% battery or something, or 50% battery, we could, and it's night, then we could trigger it to turn on. So that could be a good way to get some power. That would be fun. But that also might take a little while. We might start running out of power in the meantime, is all I'm thinking. So probably just start with a couple solar panels. I think we're a little bit low on material. What does a solar panel take? We need astraloy, mostly. A little bit of copper. Okay. It's time to take the new setup for a spin here. Let's fill up a bag or two of stuff, and then see all that turn into ready-to-use material. And what is astraloy? Copper, steel, cobalt. Okay. So to start, I'm just gonna grab all these. Let's like clean them up. We can take all of this and throw it into the sorting system. I think the only thing we want to keep is the silver, maybe. But I was also thinking we should plug in the fuel switch pretty quick. We've got fuel ready to go. Having dedicated fuel there would be much better for sure. But yeah, let's throw some stuff through real quick. So just the whole belt goes in, click the button, whole belt goes in, click the button, goes up, gets emptied, gets sorted, gets stacked, gets moved into the big container, gets run through the auto furnace. Or actually, I think most of that was cobalt, so cobalt goes over here. Doesn't go through the furnace. There's something going through. Furnace goes through the stages, cooks stuff, and spits it out when it's done. So all that's getting cooked and sorted and put into storage. And then the bags themselves get dropped right at the entrance. Alright, I need to eat and drink here. Then let's go farm a little.
Oxygen low.
Oh, no, that's bad. Oh, that's bad.
Oxygen critical. Low pressure. Pressure.
Uh-oh.
Temperature critical. Toxin
Pretty sure I just killed myself.
Low pressure. Pressure critical. Cognition low.
Gotta wear a suit. Well played. Where were we? Loading up bags? Unfortunate.
Oxygen low. Oxygen critical.
Was it steel and copper for the most part? So probably iron, a little bit of coal, and copper. need gold. We need to get a deep miner set up. I saw that our whole base area produces silver and gold. So if we throw down one deep miner and throw that through a centrifuge, then we have an infinite supply of silver and gold pretty quickly. That's definitely worth setting up. In general, we want to have a good centrifuge set up and plug that into the auto furnace. Alright, there is copper, a little bit of iron. Or sorry, not copper, everything but copper. Coal, a little bit of iron. Grab a bunch of copper. Clap. 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 It's a good song. Big clap. Alright, there's a couple full bags. Let's bring all of that back. Process it. Remember, I want to get a little power, and then this guy wants to buy volatiles, if I remember right. Yeah, 192 volatiles. They have $5 each. That's pretty good. It's like $1,000 there. I want to get that set up and probably automated. We probably want to write a little bit of code so that we can like select what we want to fill it with and then give them material. I'm not sure. Hopefully you can like fill, like let's say we fill our storage with carbon dioxide, and I guess you probably can't. We can't mix gases is what I'm thinking. You can't just have like all of it loaded and ready to go in storage there. I think we have to programmatically say like, all right, I want X amount of volatile and then sell all of it to clear out storage. So we'll need to write something for that. That's what I'm thinking. And I could have a misunderstanding of the mechanics, or they might have changed. It would be nice if you could just like pump in all the gases into different storages and have them ready to go, because we have like a perfect supply of carbon dioxide and fuel, oxygen, volatiles. We just have those all set up and filled at all times. That would be ideal. But I think it's going to call it a big mix of gases that doesn't work. So we'll have to do something a little more tricky. But I do want to do that. We could start with volatiles at least and make a bunch of money off this dude. We should get the carbon dioxide and the volatiles plugged in. And I want to check as well what's going on with the water supply. I haven't looked in ages. I wouldn't be surprised if it's got troubles or we're running into something weird. I know we've shut off the oxygen supply. This is coming from the plants in the base, and I deliberately have like tweaked the values of the atmospheric composition and lowered the carbon dioxide a bunch. Went from like 85 to like 70%, just so that we can breathe without getting debuffs and annoying noises. But we have to wait for the plants to convert like that whole space before the oxygen comes through. And this is like the choke point for the whole water production system. Have infinite volatile. That's easy to collect from outside air and cool off down to 20C. But how much do we have here in the fuel tank? It's gone from like 3.5 to 2.5, so it's going down pretty slow. That's not bad. What about water? What's water look like? We only have 2.5 megapascals here. Okay. Water is still just like holding steady. It's been 230 like exactly for probably 10 hours of playtime. We have exactly the right amount of plants. So I guess if we give that a few more hours, then it will start turning on fuel production. But I think we're okay. That whole thing needs to be redone. I've taken a couple swings at it, and it's not quite right yet. I think just adding the turbine thing I was explaining earlier would be a really good idea. Gotta get that done. Alright, where are we? What's happening? I was making things and stuff. We were making some solar panels, which needs the astroloy. I'm worried we're gonna run out of power here. We'll see. But let's see, I'm gonna save, turn this on. So we need steel. We've got a good supply of steel here. What else? What is astroloy? Astroloy is, this is an easy temperature to get from the hot tank. I think the hot tank's at like 900 now, capturing all the steam energy. And then high pressure. All easy. Copper, steel, cobalt. Okay. So twice as much steel. Got the steel, cobalt. Not the best system. Very convenient to have them all though, and everything ready to go. We're gonna save a ton of time by just not having to craft all this stuff. Where's song? Alright. So let's get all of that prepared. Just want to make sure we have the right ratios laid out visually and fill the thing to 100. That is the maximum amount for that guy, if I remember correctly. Unless I just made that up, but I sound pretty confident. I'm gonna believe me. I think we have the perfect amount of steel here. And I need to double check that this is exactly 50 for all of them. Pretty much from now on, all the stacks we're ever going to touch are going to be 50. So that'll be nice. And in fact, I'm going to look right now and make sure everything's 50. Okay. Alright, so this is our recipe, and then it just needs high pressure. Turn off the activate switch. It's ready to go. Save just in case it goes wrong. Just throw everything in. I'm gonna eat these. Let's just get them out of the way. Clean the floor. I'm sure they'll get spent. Alright, and I wanted pipes. Do we have pipes? We have 117. I think we might want even more than that. Make me a ton of pipes. You can't make any. Okay, perfect. Alright, what's going on here? We are down to 180. Let's get rid of the gas. Cold gas. Add some hot gas to speed it up. Should bring the temp way up. Coffee. How's our air composition? Looking for 70% CO2 before we start adding more gas to the room. We'll add CO2, plants will convert that into oxygen, and once we break 60 kilopascals, we're at 59.2. Once we break 60, then vents turn on and filter out the oxygen. So that's what'll start our fuel supply and start the water chain. So 3% away from producing water again. Seems fine. How you doing? Are you 1,000 yet? You thinking about it? It's thinking about it. Alright, everything's in there, so we'll do the activate switch. It won't let anything out until it is a correct recipe hash. Get rid of the cold air. Probably fine. Add some hot air. We're looking for high pressure. It has to go up to like 30, I think. Also, look at that temperature. That's great. Or just like easy free air supply is up to 1200 with all that steam pressure or steam heat. Alright, and that is a large amount of those dudes. How many solar power or solar panels does that give me? Could give us a ton. We could add in like another 10 pretty easy. Copper and steel. Alright, well I think we're actually good to make steel right now. Eight. Okay. Let's see what we can do. A little bit of steel. I'm gonna do it. It only takes a second. Turn off the activate switch. Throw everything in. Wait for it to melt. I think it has plenty of temperature. Gonna clean the floor. You get rid of all the errant stuff. Let's get rid of this nickel. Get out of here, nickel. No more materials floating around. I was thinking this should be just deleted and moved into the greenhouse. We could rebuild, build a little section for potatoes. Super easy to do. This whole area should be cleaned up. And this wire. Where now that we like don't have any, there's no looming threats at all. There's nothing that can kill us. We're making enough air. We're making enough food, just potatoes, but they're fine. The water is just hovering, and it should be going up pretty soon when we start pumping more oxygen into the system. So we have room to move. I think the only thing right now that might be a little bit of a threat is like power. It's kind of a little low. So working on that now. Just throw some solar power down, and that should compensate for what we're doing as long as it's going up on average. Should be good. Alright, so we are good now. This is it's all melted. Pressure and temperature are fine. Do the activate switch, it comes right out. So yeah, with all that in mind, it's worth spending a little time cleaning up. It's nice when things look nice. It's good when you have reminders to live and to laugh and to love. And that storm that's hitting right now is actually super convenient. That's free power. Our windmills are gonna go wild, just like totally fill all the batteries, probably by days of power. How are we doing? What are you short on? Copper? Oh, look at that throw. Oh my god, fucking Kobe. This is much better. These are big upgrades. It'll be great if I can get them plugged in with the dial instead of having me to Kobe them across the world. Alright, there are 3 solar panels. I think the storm is done. Nope. What about some more hard suit backpacks? Could use more storage. Stellite, astraloy. Okay, there's some astraloy. We don't have stellite. That one requires high temp and more steel, I think. Waiting for the storm here. Storm's still storming. What else to do? What about more of the landing atmospherics? Just a pad, landing pad. I think it's the electronic guy. I think this one makes them. Sell this guy some volatiles. Alright, how many is that? 6. 6 more is going to be like 3-ish kilowatts of power. Is that good enough? Do I want to make a couple more? Just go a little overkill with it. I'm sure I will not regret having more solar panels. Not gonna help a lot around the winter though. Alright, storm is finally done. Can leave the house. Let's get some solar power. What's up, guy? Good morning. You missed all the battlefield. It was mostly robots, though. Got 4 full batteries out of that. That's pretty good. I think we pretty much have the spot ready to go for these, too, if I remember right. Can I reach? Come on. There we go. Nice. Easy. It's perfect. Meant to be. Alright, so they need power on one side and then the automation on the other to hold the perfect angle. There's power. Before we plug in the automation, let's actually finish the recipe here. They need glass on them too. Oh, don't smush me. Don't smush me. Don't smush me. I'm gonna be upset. Alright, there we go. More solar panels. And I think we have a few more crafting as well. So we can prepare for those. We are not making this many. But eventually we probably will. Just setting up a little bit. We've got bandwidth now. Might as well go a little overkill on a thing we're gonna need to do in the near future. I think I've got another 5 or 10 crafting. I wish there was Zoop at times like this. The crafting feels so tedious sometimes. And at the same time, if you can like program automation, it's super time effective. That was a big build yesterday. It took like 8 hours. And it's gonna save so much time. Alright, looks good. How you doing? Still super, super cold. That's good to see. Can check to see how much liquid's in it. It is at the fill point of 3,000 liters. This guy is full as well. So this system is still like way overkill for all the cooling that we're doing, including all of the fuel or the water cooling. I feel like we just need to improve the effectivity here. If we can more effectively dump the steam energy into this dude, then I think that'll pretty much cover it. I think we have more than enough cooling. We don't need to make like another chain of evaporative chambers for water, although that's super achievable and very efficient. You can use the water's evaporation to cool itself. But I don't think we have to. We already did all that work.
Oxygen low. Hunger caution.
Alright, how you doing? Good. You're killing it. Do you need anything? Maybe a little more copper?
Oxygen critical.
It's tricky. Oh, they're in a race to bully me off the cliff. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't bully me. Okay, that is a lot of extra solar panels, and we're still making just a couple more. Let's see what that does after a day or two. But I definitely want to see excess power. We might even want a couple more of the battery banks. I think, what do we got? 5 batteries is pretty good. That's a lot of battery. Just thinking like it'd almost be nice to have a whole line of batteries, and then maybe even enough to like get through the winter without really feeling it. Maybe you lose like 5 batteries every winter, and then it just goes right back up. We could just negate the power issue, basically. Don't know if we need that. Let's see how that does. Ads are coming. Alright, what do I want to do here? Volatiles.
Oxygen low.
Do you do the atmospheric? No. I'm looking for landing pad atmospherics. But not that many. That's a lot. I feel like we should expand the landing pad too. And let's see, I should add the, for the water, I should add the interrupting turbine thing. What's that thing called? What is the power generating turbine dude called? And is it? It's probably in the pipe factory. No, nothing here. Okay. Give me some cables. We're out of plain old boring small cables. Do you make the energy, dude? What's it called? Is it a turbine? Turbine? No. I'm gonna find it. We might have to do some Googling. I feel like it'd be in the power section. Feels like a power thing. Ooh, automated oven. I want an automated oven. I want to automate food. That'll be fun. I haven't done that before. Pretty much just live off of potatoes. But it'd be nice to have good food auto-created with the power of programming. Not seeing the turbine thing. Stirling engine. Boom. I found you. Alright, so we need one of these, and then you need to put air in it. You want to have like a canister of air with like a very specific and small amount of volatiles. That's like the most ideal thing to use. And I don't know, somehow the way this works is it like compresses, it heats and cools that tank of volatiles. So it doesn't actually spend it in any way. It just constantly like heats and cools it, and then turns that into power through some sort of science magic. I'm not really sure. But I'll need to Google that, find out exactly how much volatiles we want to put in there. Let's make 1 or 2 of those. What are you? Oh yeah, the things I made. That makes sense. So I was thinking I can throw these down. I wonder if I can do a tank connected to an input and then just have them on like a different circuit. If I have a circuit for CO2, a circuit for volatiles, and a circuit for fuel, is that going to work? Are they going to be considered separate containers, or are they all going to be considered part of the same thing and mix, and then it doesn't work anymore? That's what I'm curious about. Alright. What else? We need to load up volatiles, so for that we're going to need to use probably like a pressure pump into a canister loader, into a canister. Can you give me a smart container? We need steel and silicon. Through myself. Nice. Steel. Am I out of steel? Out of steel. Alright, I'm gonna farm a little bit. Oh, not again. Oh,
Oxygen critical.
oh my god. It's brutal. Where's the pill? I'm gonna eat the pill. I don't even care. I'm gonna eat the pill. Fuck it. I ate the pill. Got no more heals left. That was my last heal. How are we doing, Brady boy? Are you good? You should be good. Pretty sure you're good.
Oxygen critical.
No, 2042's dead. Everybody's ready for next battlefield. I'm pretty sure all of America pre-ordered. I think that was the pre-order number, exactly one America. Good to see the game doing well. 5 days, we'll see. Alright, so we just need a bunch of iron, basically, I think. Iron is cheap. Iron farms fast. Just grab it all. Alright, that's one bag. Line of solar panels to guide me home. Alright, how about that power usage? What's that battery bank look like? Got a lot more solar panels now. Still hovering? I don't believe you. Let's give it time. These batteries are, they hold a lot of power. Alright, where were we? I feel like I need to put a spotlight on my suit so that I stop forgetting that it exists. Just running outside and dying. I'm used to wearing my suit in this space. How's that air doing? 72%? 2% to go? Alright. So we were making steel. Let's get two more of these. We'll do 5 sets of steel to fill it to 1,000, and then how much iron did we need? 3, 6, 9, 12, 13. Uh-oh, might be a minute. It's gotta cook it all. It is working. We just filled it with stuff. Might be doing the copper as well. How you doing? You working? I was thinking we didn't test the lower end, I don't think. I think I might have done it a little bit during the debugging. But particularly like doing a whole bunch of steel like we're doing should bring the temperature way down. I'm wondering if the logic is kicking on correctly for emptying the furnace and filling it with hot air when it gets too cold. We'll see. Looks like it's still going. Pew! That's fun to watch. Glad those are windows. Three more. Do I have the patience? 1, 2. Come on. Come on. Alright, that's a bunch of steel. Turn it on, save the game just in case. No activate switch. Pressure's high, temp's high. Alright, and that should fill to 1,000. It's gonna take a minute. Looks like the temp's getting low and the pressure's getting high. Let's exhaust some of that. Let's exhaust all of that. And add heat. Show me the window. Do a little adjustment here. Let's plug this thing straight into the splitter. We're never going to be using it with less than a stack of 50. So automatically split it into stacks. Seems good. Alright, we are good on the regions. They're all melted. Temperature's a little low. Let's get rid of some of the cold gas. Turn on the activate switch. Add a teeny bit of heat. Should like immediately finish. And then it goes through here. And we get stacks of 50. That's better. It's a lot of steel. Alright, someone needed steel. Who needs steel? Everybody gets steel. You get steel. You get steel. You get steel. You get steel. Who needs steel? You want steel? Have some steel. Everybody gets steel. Alright, now who actually needed it? You? Okay. Alright, I don't think we're going to use stackers or sorters anytime soon. We're pretty much done with that, so let's get rid of those. Just cleaning some bags a little bit. Hey, get back here. This can be our... Come on, what are you doing? We'll get a couple of these. These are for volatile. That's not what I want. Okay. Working on the Stirling engine here, which is not ready to go until we've got volatiles ready to go. So working on the volatiles so we can work on the Stirling engine so that we can produce more water. And how is the oxygen supply? Still just 92 or 72. Goes slower when you look at it. Okay, what else do we need? We've got the containers that we want to fill with the volatile. We've got the pump. The pressure regulator is good, I think. We'll do that with like a teeny pressure. And then hopefully that'll be good. Let's see. What else do we need? Maybe a small insulated storage thing. That might not be bad. I'm thinking these are gonna be outside, which means they're gonna be exposed to the air. The tank is going to exchange heat. It doesn't have a choice with its environment. So I think we actually want to set this up indoors. Like in here would be ideal. We already want to run the volatile all the way over to the front. So we could run it along and then have like a little container here. Have a little station. I think that might be a good idea. So this will set up here basically. Oh, that's not good. Did you crash? Uh-oh. Rip. Alright, we lost almost nothing. Good. Okay. That was getting turned, or emptied. This is on, needs a little heat. Then we get our big supply of stuff and things. And then I fed everybody so that I could make you do 2 of these. Okay. And we're back where we were. Okay. So we want to have a pipe utility, which is the regular utility, I think. There's no option for the insulated one, and it doesn't matter anyway, because it's holding one of these, which is not insulated. But we need one of these, I think. Okay. Do it like over here. I think in the walls, okay. This isn't going to be exposed, I don't think. We'll find out. Something like this. Let's turn on the nerd goggles and see what we can see. How are the pipes? The pipes are little clustered there. So we'll have to run a pipe above the water pipe right here. It's gonna need to run this way and then enter here. Let's throw down a pressure regulator right here. Gonna rotate that guy. There we go. Come on. You can do it, I believe. There it is. Do that, and then some insulated pipes. Give me that. With a wrench. And then let's do a teeny bit of the, what do you call it? Canister balls? What are you called? Inline gas tank small. One of these just to kind of help with buffer a little bit. Because we need to be like super exact with how much volatiles we put in here. And I need to Google that. Stirling engine. Let's see. Stirling engine. Satisfactory? No. What's this game called? Engine nerds? No. Station nerds? Closer. Let's take a look. Show me what you got. Something about volatiles, right? Volatiles. Best. 15%. Somewhere tells me... Okay. Okay, so it's about 2.4 megapascals. We're looking for 60 moles. Okay, so you are 2.4. Just gonna throw stuff on the floor. Where is my label gun? There we go. 2.4. Okay. Should have that much pressure, in theory. And then I want to color all this too. Let's make sure it matches the right color. So we will use this to fill 60 moles is the target. 2.4 it says. We can save scum around it to make sure we get it right. Okay. Now this needs to plug in to our main supply of volatiles, and I think I need to turn the temperature up on them as well. They're like exactly 20, which will be a problem. We can only sell to the vendors to 20. That's like the absolute lowest. So if they get lower pressure at all and the temperature drops, which is pretty likely, then they will drop below 20, and we can't sell them anymore. So if we just set them to like 22, that would work okay. I didn't forget you. Suit. I'm learning. Don't go outside without a suit. It's important. Struggling to learn that one. We're working on it. Alright, so we need to connect the main supply of volatiles. And like I said, I want to turn this down. Where is the chip that handles these? Is it, do you handle everything? Let's take a look. I'm gonna save just in case, but this should be pretty straightforward. Import, edit. Do you do everything? You do the cooling valves. You're just cooling valve code. You do nothing. Okay. I mean, you do air conditioning, but you don't run filters. I think you're a cooling valve too, right? Oh, wait, what am I thinking? Yeah, this is the right thing. Okay. You're exactly what I need. Let's tweak the cooling on this one. Import, edit. We just hard code this from 20 to 22, and then we need to do it in both spots. I thought there was like one housing that was controlling these both, and that this was cooling on something else. That's my bad. Anyway, let's turn these up to 22. Import this, edit 22. Okay. Export. Now those should be a little more manageable temperature, but still cooled to basically room temperature, so we can dump that straight in our base without a problem. At least for the CO2. Plants love CO2. Alright. Now we need to route that volatile up to here. Oh, can I not go out through there? Can I go straight? No? Why? Oh, because there's a thing. Yes. Alright, we're good. Should do on the nerd goggles, so this connects to the main volatile line. And then I think we want to also bring it over this way and connect it to the vendor so we can sell it. That's free money. That's just like passively generated money. This guy's got $1,000 for us. We could use some water right now, would be nice. But we're still doing pretty okay there. We just like buy a ton of water and then turn the plants up would be good. Get a bunch more fuel. Turn up the water production, fuel production, all that jazz. Anyway, let's wrap these up. What you doing? There it goes. Nope. Ooh, it's getting weird. That'll do. Okay. So we can double check this, but that should be volatiles plugging in. Let's pull out the laptop and look. Volatiles heating up already a little bit. Seems good. Now this needs power. Let's see, what do I want to do for power? Let's probably give it its own power line from the interior.
Oxygen low.
I have food and water. We should food and water. Gross. Need to fix that someday. Alright, so we can just bring the main power line over. This can get its whole dedicated circuit. You get your own line. Very excessive. Let's see, do we have any transformers? No. Transformers. Just need one. That'll make 10. That's no problem. Alright. Turn that up. Turn it on. Plug it in. Okay. Okay, now we save scum. We should probably turn this down just a teeny bit too. How's this? Let's return the wall. So you should be chilling at room temperature. We're looking for 60 moles. Look at that, 59.5. We're getting there. $60 moles. Perfect. Okay, where's the other one? Did I put that in storage or something? Where'd you go? Where did I put it? I know I had two. Right there. Okay. So I will save. That looks perfect. Double check. 60 moles. 60 moles. Should be able to swap this one out too for 60 moles. There it is. Turn this off. Okay. So now we have the perfect container for our turbine, or our Stirling engine. Keep calling it a turbine. That's another thing. We can use that to cool off the steam. That was tricky. Okay. Anything else I need for that? I don't think so. We should go reintroduce that real quick. Right to the middle of our steam production. We can use the turbine to cool it off. Generate a little power. Great here. We need to send that power up to the power generation, ideally. We could just like return it to the main line, but that's not great. That's not going to charge anything. The main line just draws from the main power bank. So putting energy back into it from there, or from here, isn't a good spot. We need to like route a new line all the way up to like where the windmills are going in, basically. But you live here? Or something? Something. Okay. I think that'll work. No, I need one electric part. That's sad. Zoom. Copper and iron. few more of those. That's all I need. Okay, got a Stirling engine. Are these guys programmable? No? I mean, I'm thinking like, programmable is and put your own IC chip inside of it so it can program itself. I don't think so. We're gonna have to control it externally using the IC chips that we've got for our cooling system, probably. Or we could just add a new one specifically for Stirling engine. I think that's okay. I don't want to like overwrite any of these. Actually, I'm pretty much want to delete all these. This was a good try, and I feel like I'm pretty happy with the attempt. It was a good idea. It just doesn't really work at all. These will go away eventually, but it's more work to get rid of them. Anyway, we don't want to affect that code. We can throw down a housing here, and then write our own code for the Stirling engine, which is pretty much just if night, turn on. Like, really not anything more than that. And then I think we want to do another storage as well. So this is like another interrupting intermediate step, basically. We want to separate right here. Save just in case, but nothing funky going on. Let's grab some pipe. Okay. So the input for this is the super hot steam right here. It gets one of the containers of volatiles. Alright, the output is going to connect to this guy. Let's put it up in the air a little bit, get it out of the way. This is kind of gross, it's getting cluttered. But we're going to wing it. We're just winging it. It'll work good enough. So this comes down, and then I think we want even another storage container, like right here. Should be okay. We got one tank? We do. So let's do a tank right here. And this is just like another buffer. Tank go up. Tank connect. Okay. So now whenever it's night, this dude should be able to run full force. Let's take a quick look at this. Moving the hot steam that we have stored here, which is at like 1300, still very hot. After trading energy with our hot tank, it's still extremely hot. Hot tank's very hot too. It's reached the same temperature, 1300. That's awesome. That's super convenient. Anyway, this is very hot steam. At night, this guy's gonna run full force. It's gonna fill this line, which has a nice little container as well. So this guy will get filled. This is just buffer. And this dude basically just takes hot air, uses science magic on the container of volatiles here to cool it off and turn that heat into energy, and then releases the colder air on the other side. So this is just a big, it's going to provide a lot of cooling for us. It should provide a big loss of heat on that steam, hopefully. And it'll even return some power, which might be useful. It just needs to be programmed. We need to tell it to turn on at night. And that's basically it. And then we want to plug that power into the main line. But even right now, we can just turn it on. It's only helpful. What up, Otter? Are you angry at Twitch for giving you notifications? I feel like it's not going far enough. I feel like it should send a picture of my cat to your face. That would be even better. Alright, let's add a small amount of paint. Then we need to program this. So this should be super straightforward. This is just turn on at night. If I remember right, it exchanges energy with its surroundings. As well, so you only want to run it at night. I might want to double check that. You spell Stirling engine. How do I spell things? Don't I have one in my hands? Don't I have one right in front of me? Stirling. Stirling. There it is. Harnessing an ancient thermal exploit. That's what it is. That's the science magic. Generates power via the expansion and contraction of a working gas to drive pistons. When high pressure hot gas is supplied to the input, this gas will heat the hot side of the unit, then pass to the output pipe. The cooler side uses the room's ambient atmosphere, which must be kept at a lower temperature and pressure in order to create a differential. So it's using the room to help do its science magic. So we do only want to turn this on at night, that's what I'm thinking. It's just been a little while since I've used these. Gotta remember. So we plug it in with automation. Yeah. And then we don't have to name it. We write some code. Should be real straightforward code. Let's see. What do we want to use? Do we have like some min? Just look at if there's anything that we could just like delete lines and have it done. Because I've solved this exact problem a ton. The Atmo collector will do it. There's probably going to be a lot of extra lines of code though. Just delete like all of it. The one variable we're going to have, two variables. We'll have the D gas sensor. And we'll have the D Stirling engine, which is D1. We have V temp, and then we have the V Stirling engine. Stirling engine is on. That's going to be R14. Alright, we're looking for a max temp of 130. Our code is going to set the Stirling engine on the Stirling. Got it wrong every single time. There we go. Stirling engine is on. It's going to control whether the Stirling engine is on. We load the temperature from the gas sensor, and then so much extra code. All of this goes away. We say set less than the Stirling Stirling engine is on. Is going to be if the V temp is less than max temp. So really quickly, just walking through this, we have two things we're plugging in. We're plugging in a gas sensor to track the temperature outside. We're plugging in the Stirling engine that we want to toggle on and off. Our variables are only the temperature that is outside, which is in Celsius, and a Boolean for whether or not we want the Stirling engine to be on. We want to turn it on at night. We define a max temperature of 130. And then we have a main function that's loading variables and looping, where it only sets the Stirling engine to Stirling engine is on. We're loading the temperature from the gas sensor. We're converting it from Kelvin to Celsius. And then we're saying the engine is on if the temperature is less than the max temp. I almost want to call this, let's call it like max temp or something. This is a really common, like max temp, max pressure. This is a common problem. Anyway, that looks good. We'll export that into our chip. We will turn it on. It will fail immediately. We will put this here, and actually I can see we already have an issue. This cable is plugging into this circuit. Is that an issue? That's debatably an issue. Can I sneak it by here? Yes, okay. Let's plug it into this circuit. That's fine. Alright, now we need to wire it up. We have put the chip in and we ran it to give us the labels for what devices we need to plug in. This is our gas sensor, which is a gas sensor. Stirling engine is the Stirling engine. Save just in case, turn it on, see if it breaks. Should turn on because it's night, does its work. Fills this with cooler gas, which is going in at 1,000. I mean, it's something. I guess. That's 300 Celsius dropped. Should I have like a bunch of these in series or something? What happens if I have like 5 of these? Could we drop it all the way to room temperature? Anyway, that's free power. Right now it's not plugged into anything, so we should plug that into our main line. For that we're going to need a ton of the heavy cables, which we do not have. Try Mega Bonk? I've been watching that a little. That's not my style of game. I really don't like the rogue shoot the bad guys. Massive waves of bad guys. Pew 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 pew. That's a genre a lot of people enjoy. But it's not for me. Alright, what am I doing? I'm eating, I'm drinking. I wonder, should I try and add more Stirling engines to that, maybe? And we could use like set batch. Instead of wiring a specific Stirling engine, we could just programmatically turn them all on at the same time. But we might want to have like 5 of those in series. That might not be a bad idea. I wonder how much energy we could drop. Maybe we just do that instead of having the radiators, since the radiators are collecting air temperature. That could be good. That's probably worth exploring. If that works, then we'll get huge water production. Alright, how's the gas in here? 71%, 1% away from starting to produce more water. Getting better. Alright, I need to use the bathroom and run ads. Thinking, what to do next. I'm tempted to try and plug in another Stirling generator or two. Just put a couple in series and see what happens. It might be the case that that is super useful and that like can totally match room temperature. Or maybe they just like aren't very effective as you go down to closer and closer temperatures. Anyway, that's probably worth checking out. I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. I'm alive. I didn't die. The toilet didn't eat me. Tried to flush me down, but I said no. I fought back. I made it. Could use a shower. What was I doing? I was running in circles. That's a good plan. We need a bunch of the heavy cable, I remember. Which means we need gold and copper. We're out of both, more or less. We need like a lot of heavy cable. Whee! Where the other things go? There we go. Cable, cable, cable. Alright, so we can wait there. I consulted Professor ChatGPT, and it sounds like it doesn't really work well to put a few of them in series. It'll basically not have returns at all. So we'll just leave it as is. That's still a free, even right now without any power generation coming from that, that's still just like free cooling, which should only be helping. Dropping like 30-40% temperature for that one little extra step should help a lot, I would think. We will see. Still kind of waiting for the air to turn back on, and then we'll see how the water generation is. We haven't really been making fuel, so I think this is going up slower than it would be otherwise. If we have more fuel, it's gonna push more through the system, I think. The higher pressure on the back end should just like shove through, basically. We're still just sitting at exactly 230. This is like the perfect spot for exact sustainability. Meanwhile, the air is going up, so that'll be free resources soon enough. And in fact, we're gonna need to add like a pressure release valve for our oxygen supply. It will eventually fill up, the gas will fill up, and then the oxygen will fill up, and then the oxygen tank will explode, and it'll be beautiful. I think I might just do that. Let's just see that happen. That's coming. How long does that take? Let's find out. Let's do that. That's the thing to do. Alright. What to do? The volatiles. I want to see, I want to have a different staging area for volatiles and a different staging area for carbon dioxide, where they have different circuits and they're not plugged into one another, but they're still on the same landing pad. Can we fill up 2 tanks? And are those tanks insulated? Or is it just going to immediately start taking on heat? It might be that we need to have like an atmospheric, or like the oxygenated environment. I'm not sure. I haven't played with that, I don't think.
Oxygen critical.
Alright, well, let's experiment. I think I have the items on me. Let's check. We're looking for the... Oops, maybe not. Remember, I put these away once upon a time, and then I think I ran outside and died, if I recall correctly. It's not my best move. We need the landing pad atmospherics, which I think are through this dude, right? Atmo. Landing pad Atmo. Give me a few of these. Thank you for the raid, Banana Dodo. What are we playing? What are we up to? That's probably enough of that. Give me infinity landing pads. Basic pad. Make 1 billion of those. We should expand our landing pad. Alright, but this should be enough to test. Can we do something like a small tank next to a inlet? Should be a gas inlet. Gas input. Something like this, maybe. And then have a separate identical one, more or less, over here. One for volatiles, one for carbon dioxide, one for fuel. Gonna have to do some experimenting and see how do they work for like heat exchange. Does this all need to be in a giant oxygenated box? Do I want to keep these in a vacuum until the ship has landed and we've pressurized with room temperature air? Maybe. I think I remember that being a thing once upon a time. I would hope these are insulated, but I think they're not. I think game is hard. Let's find out. What do you need? A tank? So we need 2 tanks. What do you need? A volume pump. I think I have a volume pump, don't I? No? 2 tanks and a volume pump. Tank. Also stationeers on Mars. Yeah, stationeers is hard. I do like the Vulcan and Venus. I think are my favorite. These are fun maps. I don't think I've tried Mars, actually. I think I did like Moon, and then just dived into the hot maps and died a bunch there. Alright, 2 tanks, volume pump. Hope you're having fun with it. Game is good. I love this game. Alright, there's that. And then you get a couple of tanks. And you are angry that you don't have power. That's okay. We'll deal with that. Where are my cords? Do I have cords? I have 49 cords. Where's the big power line? This is small power line. This is big one. Guess we can just run it over the steps. It's gross, don't look. Can I go that way? That's not bad. Okay, so this is the main power line. We can bring that along. Let's go this way with it. Just go right along the edge here. It might be the case that like all of this needs to be indoors. That would be fun. That's a fun problem to solve. I don't think that would be too bad. We've got a large amount of atmosphere. So we would just overflow this into some sort of storage tank until that reached a desired pressure. Then we have to set up a little bit of logic for closing some doors, pumping to vacuum, bringing in the good air, and then bringing that good air back into storage. Opening the doors again. That'd be a fun problem to solve. Probably be similar to like the airlocks or the auto furnace, where we would want to have just like a series of stages and walk through logically what happens in each stage. Looks like batteries are doing okay, filling up slowly maybe. At the very worst, they're not a problem, if not filling fast. So power's okay. Good to see. Alright, where were we? Let's do a new circuit here. How did that happen? Sometimes they just jump back into my inventory and I have no idea how. Alright, new circuit here. This one is maxed out. So we could just have like a different circuit for every line and that might work. We'll see if the storages are shared or not. And I wonder, I could even test that. I could just like destroy this one and then see what happens when I finish it. I think that's a good idea. I'm going to do that. Should double the storage, should affect the amount of storage I see in the system, I think. Can I do that right now even? Do you tell me what's your capacity is 1,000. Okay. And then if I finish this, is your capacity 2,000? Capacity is 1,000. Okay, so I think these are separate. I hope so. The dream is these are separate and they're perfectly insulated, which I highly doubt. Anyway, getting closer here. Let's move the power in. Do you just do logic? Is that it? And then you get angry because of the pipe. I don't even know if we needed power at all. I think it gets power from the main system. We could logically control it, but we're not doing anything with that right now. Anyway, let's route the pipes. So this is just our collection of volatiles, which we had running along the wall. Let's keep it going. Plug this dude in, and then we can try and vend some stuff and see what happens. Just gonna route it around the wall here, I think. How can we do this so it's not a pain? It's gonna be a little bit of a pain, I think. It's okay. We'll just let it be a pain. Alright, I'm gonna do a pretty long section here. I don't know exactly what we want to do here. We'll have to figure it out with time. But let's just run it through the sky for now. That seems good. Easy. Alright, so first test. Let's go ahead and just run the thing and see what happens. Are you going to immediately heat up? Or are you going to be cool and be perfectly insulated so that my life is not terribly difficult? It's a vacuum right now. I'm going to save scum here. Let's turn it on. Just put a little bit in and take a look. Oh, are you sitting at 22? Are you not even exchanging any thermal energy at all? Oh, thank God. Perfect. Okay. So that's great. Just thinking, what do we want to do here? So this guy is a pump where we toggle it on and it will fill and fill and fill. If we leave it on, I don't think it's going to, first off, it'll waste a lot of energy. I don't think it's going to pressurize to whatever pressure we have here. I think it's just going to blow this tank up and then start blasting out our important gas into space. So we're going to want to control this with logic. I think that should be pretty easy to do. I think we can use this logic line to detect the, maybe the variable, let's see right here. What are you called? Landing pad gas input, okay. Let's just look at it right now. Let's think about programming this. You are the landing pad input. Landing pad gas input, okay. What are our various values here? Can we see the pressure input, temperature input, that sort of thing? Can we see... We got pressure, so we can read our internal pressure. On. I wonder if this is the kind where it has like a mode and you want to leave it on at all times. Anyway, I'm wondering if we turn it off, are we going to lose our read on the pressure? That's what I'm worried about. Okay, I'm just thinking we could maintain a minimum pressure if the pressure is below a certain threshold. And ideally, we want to check the temperature of the input too. There's a chance that we need it to be a specific temperature. If we load it up with like 35°C gas, then it's going to be too hot to sell, and it will not. We'll have to like unload it and then deal with that. We'll have to like build buildings to unload it, which will be obnoxious. So we probably want an analyzer at the beginning to check to make sure that the pressure is above a minimum threshold and the temperature is below a maximum of maybe like 28°C or something. And then if our internal pressure is too low, we'll turn it on to bring in some gas. I think that is the move. Okay, that's the general program. Could write that in a minute maybe. I'm curious too, could we see... If I take a look at the, we have like a gas input right here, I think. Do you have anything in you? Okay, you do. So this guy is connected to this one, which isn't great, considering these are on a different circuit, a different power circuit, and they have they're not like physically connected. I don't think they can kitty corner each other. That means that I think this guy is going to be connected too. If we try and pump carbon dioxide into here, then it's going to ruin our air. So we have to be deliberate about what we want to do here. I think we're going to want like maybe a button or dials. We want to select what gas we're going to want to load into the system with maybe a dial where we toggle between however many we have. And then we're going to want to run that program I was describing of checking an analyzer and checking the pressure and pumping in until a certain point. And we might want another dial for like how much gas, because it's going to be different between all of these dudes. What is this? 14 for how much gas? 14. Oh, is the pressure going up or the temp's going up too? Okay. So these are thermally resistant, but not a perfect insulator. We started at 22, we're at 22.4. Considering it's 500 C. That's not a huge deal. But we'll essentially, I mean, that goes hand in hand with like needing to load them specifically. It's basically like when we have something we want to sell, then we'll want to like rotate some dials. Another option is we just push the button. And just sell until everything is sold. I think that is even easier for now, at least. Maybe save scum a little around it. Needs 100 too. How's that? 60. Yeah, I'm not even sure exactly how to determine how much they want or how much to sell them, other than to spam it like we're doing right now. I guess we could just we're gonna overdo it. We're not gonna get the exact amount, I'm sure. So you probably overdo it, sell everything you can, and then dump the extra. Which is where we're at now. Okay. So we finally sold this dude everything. He gave us $1,000 ruse. I tell him to depart. Now the last step here is we need to empty the gas, but we don't want to empty it into our oxygen line. That is exactly the worst thing we could possibly do. Let's tweak how this is working. It would make sense to empty it right back into this line, actually, in this case. But we could also just say meh and shoot it into space. I like that idea. Let's not complicate this. You get to be a vent. Okay, we can save. Let me just shoot this into space. Maybe shoot myself up into space. Sounds fun. No? Come on. Give me a little bit of shooting into space. No? Unbelievable. I think we could do this programmatically too. Just like tell this guy to empty. I'm not sure. We've got options here. These are all things we could do. Maybe we just don't care. Maybe I just manually click a button every once in a while. And probably in the near future, we pretty much don't need to trade for anything. Or we sell ore with infinite ore generation from deep miners. Probably easier than managing gas. It's taking forever. Are you serious? Come on, dude. Brutal. Alright, well, we got this plugged in and we learned some things. Alright, that's something. What are we doing down here? Fuel's not moving. Liquid's going down real slow. Should be adding fuel and liquid soon. We'll see what happens there. Got a vacuum, turn that off. How's our air in here?
Oxygen low.
70.5. We are 0.5% away from starting to add more air to the fuel line. Alright, what else did I want to do? I was thinking I wanted to change the programming on this guy a little bit. It's working just fine. And it's working to similar setups I've used in the past where I would like try and save the hot air. So if we got a lot of hot air in there, then we would pump it out into the hot tank again, basically, and increase the heat.
Hunger caution.
I don't think we need that for this. I don't think we want our input combined with our output. I think we want to have those as separate. And then we want to control them with the dials, and we definitely want to get the fuel plugged in there. Is a good idea. Eat and drink. So that's all pretty easy to do. For that, we just need one new pump. We're going to want a turbo pump. And we're going to need to play with our programming. Yeah, that should be it.
Oxygen critical.
Let's see. All of the plumbing is in this box, which I believe is fully isolated from everything. Should be able to just open this up. I'll save just in case. Open this guy up. In fact, I don't even know why this is in a box. I guess to box you in if the backside is extending into the hot room here. Alright, what do we got going on? Let's see. So I think we leave the input on at all times. What are you, input or output? What do you say? Output, 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 output? No. That's not right. I don't believe you. Input, output. Alright. So let's change the input. We leave the input on at all times. And it is going to... it is going to always just grab whatever is inside of this input pipe right here that I'm building. So when we turn on any of the turbo pumps here, they will pump into this little pipe section, which will get pulled into the input, and this thing's running full force at the same speed as these guys. So they'll just be constantly keeping this pipe at vacuum and pulling in whatever. And then we'll control the output using our manual dials, which we already have set up. So we'll just change that instead of doing the dials that we used to have for the... does this work? Is this going to make a single one? I think it is. Yeah, it's got to change. Sorry, so instead of using the little black exhaust switch, which was doing a pump out, and in fact I need to delete that. That's you. Now we'll just use the dials instead. And the output will go straight into the output, into the exhaust section. Alright, so I could actually change this to be fuel, I think, is a good idea. This one needs to get moved back. And then I think we're good. Alright. You get relabeled. You are now fuel pump. Come I'm gonna paint these as well to make it a little clearer. Alright, let's see. You should be red. You should go into red stuff, but not yet. You should be orange. A hot tank, right? Hot tank pump. Hot tank pump. What's that? 50? 50 is okay. Fuel pump should probably be pretty low. Definitely not 100. Let's go up to even 10, and it should go that way. Okay. Now we need to move stuff slightly. We should have a pump here. This is our cold pump. We will make it blue. We will call it cold pump, and we'll plug it in. Alright. Need to rewire these a bit. Where's my wiry tool? Where did I put my wiry tool? In here, maybe? Yep. Alright, plug that in on that side. Plug it in on this side. Same story. Come on. Alright, now those are plugged in. Got power to all those. They go in the correct direction. Those are all in. Then the output is just gonna come out right over here. Let's redo this stuff a bit. Output comes out, goes this, no, goes this way, no, goes this way. Get out of here. You're fucking my shit up. There we go. Output goes this way. Just goes straight into the output section. Okay. Almost done. Alright, so we've separated this. The inputs are now separated from the output. The output goes straight into the output buffer and the output filter, which is still doing good. Filters are full. We need to plug in the cold section here. This guy needs to connect. Should go that way. Into the input pipe. Right here. Okay. Good. And then we've swapped the exhaust. Instead of being this guy, this is now an input for fuel. So we connect this to the fuel line and reprogram stuff a little bit internally in a moment. And then we should have the ability to add fuel to our furnace, which is a great tool for making the hot stuff instead of having to just like run silver through. We can use fuel, just add a little bit of fuel. Are you good? You're all plugged in? You're at the right volume of 10? A little low volume there? Just looking, just checking. I think this all looks good. I think we're good to weld this thing shut and then reprogram it. I weld you shut. I'm gonna paint you red too. I feel like you should be red, your furnace thing. Congratulations. Okay, this connects to the fuel. Fuel go up. Let's keep it a little lower so it doesn't run into stuff. Hello, kitty. Who's a good boy? Alright. Getting close. So many. Just mouse wheel forever. Boom. The fuel plugs in. Gonna leave the hole in the world. It's exciting. Probably gonna fall through it someday. Quite an adventure. Alright. So, I think that all looks good. We've rerouted all the pipes. We've added fuel. The fuel is not amazing right now. 2 megapascals. That's still enough that we can cook stuff. Let's reprogram it. And then, like, all of this is because I want to cook some stellite. This is a long way around it. But it's definitely nice to have. And we can automate this furnace someday. We have, like, all the inputs we need to add automation for creating everything, basically. For creating all the advanced ingots. We can automate that. It'll create stuff. And then we can route this into our input supply for our for everything else. And just add a couple vending machines at the end for the advanced alloys. Super alloys, whatever they're called. It will be good. Alright, and we want to make stellite, if I remember right. This is silver, silicon, and cobalt. More silicon.
Oxygen critical.
Just throwing this guy into the system. It's like the last loose material. Okay.
Oxygen low.
Alright, what do we need? 2 silver. And a bunch of silicon, which we don't have. That's gonna be 5 sets. Alright, what do we need? 1, 2, 3, 4 of the cobalt, which we don't have cobalt. We're out of cobalt. Fair enough. Out of cobalt. And out of silicon. Alright, that's the thing to do. What about programming? I should program this thing first while it's in my brain. Where does the programming live? Can I see the housing? I think it's like right here. It doesn't show me with the X-ray goggles. That's a little annoying. Okay. I'm just gonna have to rip up the floor. Show me. Where's your logic? How do you think? Yeah, I found it. Alright, so let's take a look at the programming on this. Gonna import that. Then we will edit it. Take a look. So we're gonna change this. We're not gonna have an exhaust pump anymore. We are gonna have a fuel pump. Exhaust pump dies. Let's put this to 3. 3 and 4, I guess. I don't want to change the numbers. We already have to reprogram it for a lot of the pumps, so might as well reprogram it for all. Anyway, we swap out that one input. We're not going to have the exhaust switch anymore. Because of that, I'm going to remove it right now. Goodbye. Okay, that guy's gone. The exhaust is just controlled by this output dial, so I'm going to turn it to 0. We want to use that deliberately. And maybe we want to switch for just like toggle it to 10. Just like force it. That's actually not a bad idea. We might want an exhaust switch. Because we're almost always going to be doing 10 clicks. Alright, I put it back. Good talk. We're going in circles. But we're going somewhere. Gotta rip up the floor again. Okay. Is this right? Yeah. You're off, right? Let's just double check. Where's the configuration? That is tracker. There's configuration. That is off. Good. Alright. And you will be called exhaust switch. Okay. Oh, I didn't save? Whoops. I guess that's actually fine. Then we'll just do this. So we add the fuel pump. We're going to keep the exhaust switch. We're not going to have exhaust pump. I guess the exhaust switch is a hash, I'm guessing. That's how we're playing with it. Because we have, I remember for this furnace we had too many buttons and too many inputs. We couldn't do everything as a D value. So we just did a hash by name for some switches. This is starting to ring some bells. Anyway, I think I already had written the logic for fuel pump is on. I think we just need to like uncomment some stuff. We're also not going to have the exhaust pump. For the exhaust pump, oh my god, look at all this code. What is happening? Where's the exhaust pump? Exhaust switch. Okay, this is exhaust pump is on. Let's see. Okay, so we will say branch relative if equal to 0. The exhaust. I'm going to say switch is on. Let's change this variable. The exhaust pump is on. Is now exhaust switch is on. Walk over this in 1 second. What's our setting output? Output dial setting times 10, so that's going from 0 to 100, so we'll say move setting output goes to 100. Okay, so branch relative if equal to 0, exhaust switch is on 2. This is saying if the exhaust switch is on is a 0, then jump 2 lines. So jump down to line 52 and keep on moving with whatever you computed for the switch, for like the output setting, basically up here, which is going to be tied to that output dial. If we do switch the exhaust switch to on, then it's going to execute this line right here. So when we flip the switch, we're going to hard code our output to 100. So we've now got a switch we can use that overwrites that dial, but we still can use the fine-tuned dial if we want to. And then that's going to save us clicks. Alright. We can even comment that. Seems good. What about the fuel? Did we get the fuel all going? Is that already all set up? That's coming from fuel pump. We've got fuel pump is on. Fuel pump is on. It's already being computed by the fuel pump dial. So that should do it. Basically, we already had the code ready to go. This will give us fuel now for the input. And then we've got multiple controls for the output. And they're no longer tied to each other. Let's save this code. This is our furnace, advanced furnace. Confirm and export and throw it in here, and everything should break in a bad way. Ooh, that might actually like turn some pumps on. We'll see. I'm gonna save, turn it on, turn it off, and then we should get the the correct inputs here, I think, right? Fuel pump exists. Okay. Yeah, looks good. Hot pump. Cold pump is gone. It moved. So we have to find that one again. Cold pump. Hot pump didn't get touched. I'm gonna check. Okay, it's good. Advanced furnace is the same. Advanced furnace there. Fuel pump is fuel pump already, just by accident. Nice. Regions console. Should be the regions console. Okay, and then you don't matter. You're not plugged into anything. Okay. So that should get everything working. Let's go ahead and turn it on. Nothing should be happening. Let's try if I hit this button. Do you exhaust? You do. If I turn the dial up, do you exhaust? You do. So we now have fine control over the exhaust. Okay. Let's add a teeny bit of fuel. And then we immediately see a big rise in temperature and pressure. So we can now add fuel. Seems good. That's not right. Oh no. Okay, cool. Got better programming on the furnace now. Finer control, and particularly for being able to do the stellite I wanted to do. So now we can finally get to that. What do we need to do for stellite? We need to farm a little bit of silicon and a little bit of cobalt.
Oxygen critical.
Oops, I need farming things. I don't have farming things on me. You full? Yes, you are. That's okay. Alright, here we go. So many clicks. We're getting there. Just in case. Do I need a jetpack? We got it. Silicon cobalt. Snooze the ads as much as we can every time. Silicon cobalt. Oh, you got big meows, my little kitty friend. Meow! You are so cute. He's bored, he wants to play. impatient for hours. He deserves playtime. He makes a good argument. His big meows ring true. Goes straight to the heart. I'm gonna take him on a walk today. Pretty soon here, once the sun's up. Alright, there's a bag full of stuff. I think we got roughly enough of the silicon. We still need a little more, maybe. Mostly need cobalt. Need like 3 or 4 more stacks of cobalt. Alright, where is the purple? Purple. Whenever we're farming, we should get more than what we need. It always goes away. So let's fill this bag too before we leave. It's probably enough of everything though. I don't think we need silver. Silver fills fast and it makes flamethrowers, which is fun. Give me a nice flamethrower maybe. Okay, looks good. Where do I live? Where did I come from? This way, I think? Looks right. I gotta paint it. It looks too generic from the outside. Basic rectangle. I'm thinking maybe black for this room. Black feels cold, like shadows. Green for greenhouse. Below we'll have a blue water refinery. That's coming up in the next day or two. Definitely need to get the water production going well. We'll see if we're good with what we currently have. But it's not working very effectively yet. Oops. Forgot to drop stuff off to smelt. Let's run it through the system. It's fun to watch. How's our power? Good. Just cooking all the things. Technology. Look at it go. It's so smart. It only took 8 hours and like 10 bugs. It's a lot of bugs. It's a big program. But it's doing the thing. And when it gets too hot, it poops a gigantic flamethrower. Like a massive fireball. I don't think it's going to do that with this. Maybe when all the silver goes through at the end. Anyway, let's turn these off and save power. I don't need to watch it. I've seen it work. How you doing? Still completely cold. How is our air supply? Have we finally hit the carbon dioxide threshold?
Hunger caution.
There it is. Carbon dioxide is at 69. Nice. So then it will turn on the intake for carbon dioxide to puff it up to 70. I think, unless I turned it all the way down to 60. Let's take a look at that. We need that to turn back on. This is enough oxygen for now. In fact, it's pretty much exactly enough. We have no more of the... I was pretty much looking to get rid of the visual debuff from the top right. That's gone now. That's like all I'm looking for. If we can get rid of that, then we kind of want to keep the environment as mostly carbon dioxide. It's a buffer. Like right now, our atmosphere is 20%, 27% oxygen. It's mostly buffer, which means that it's not going to catch fire. Not prone at all to catching fire. That's a good thing. So it's pretty ideal right now. No debuff, no fire. Let's take a quick look. What did I do here? What do we have it hard-coded to? 60. Nope. Let's do 69. It's going to be the min CO2 ratio. Seems like this is right about the threshold. So we'll keep it right about where it is. Maybe it's going to take 1% more before it kicks on. But when the pressure drops here, when the CO2 drops to 69, it will puff in more and maintain that ratio. That's going to get turned into oxygen when the pressure is above 60 kilopascals, which is at 59. Then we'll see that filter turn on and add oxygen to our system. So let's get that going. I assume our water supply is going down slowly. Yep, starting to go down a little faster now, since we're not capturing that oxygen. So let's make sure this is going the right way. Alright, what was I doing? We were letting the system do things. Need a whole bunch of silicon. Like 4 of these. There we go. Alright. So we're looking to test out the new furnace setup, basically. Let's go ahead and save, but should be ready to go. Activate switches off. Temperature is low. You can use the exhaust valve to get rid of some of that gas. We're looking to make stellite, I think, which is one of the hottest recipes out there. Okay, let's test it. So we will start by cooking everything, add a little bit of hot gas. We've got a lot of silver, actually. We're probably going to generate enough heat without having to do anything, just from the silver and the hot gas already starting super hot. That's going to off-gas a bunch of oxygen and create fuel in the already spicy furnace. Eat. Alright, that should be everything. Should go to 100. Temperature is absurdly hot. No problem. So we're not gonna have to do anything here, but we have the option now. We got the button. We can programmatically add fuel if we need to bring the temperature up. So that is an upgrade for sure. 69.7. It's so slow. We need more plants, but we need more water so we can make more plants. Definitely important goal to get big water production working well. Have an infinite supply of water so that we can just start going wild with the plants and have infinite fuel. Infinite oxygen. I would love to fill in the greenhouse. It's like a third full. You should all be ferns. Maybe more. Alright, how are we doing? Are you at 1,000 yet? Been waiting forever. We're not there. And how's our temperature? Temperature is too low. Plus, we need a lower pressure. 10 to 20. Okay, so we do get to use the fuel button. About to hit 1,000. We can turn on the activate switch, but it's not going to work. Let's get rid of some gas down to 20-ish. A little lower, maybe. Okay. Let's get closer to 10 so that we're not having to heat up as much with the fuel. Then we add a little fuel, looking to bring the temp up to like 1,500. Is that working? How are you doing? Are you doing the thing? You just doing the thing slow? There it goes. So it was cold fuel at 20C. Now it's igniting. Temperature's a little too, or the pressure's a little too high. Let's do small output. Oops. Yeah. Turn that off. Add a little bit of heat. Let that cook. Do a big drop of pressure. You're getting closer here. Add some fuel. This is adding fuel relatively slowly as well, since the fuel supply is pretty empty. When it starts filling in more, we'll be in a better spot. We'll work a little better. Let that ignite. Once it reaches the peak, can get some gas out. What's our temp? It's like 1520 something? 1527, so 1530 or so. Getting close. Probably one more batch of fuel. Oh, there it goes. Cool. Alright, all good. All of that work for 5 blue bars. Alright, and the end goal. I remember you needed stellite to make a backpack. Hey, there we go. We can make 10 backpacks. I don't want to make 10 backpacks. I do want to make probably 2 or 3. Tempted to put all the tools in a backpack as well. These are bigger storage? No, that's a lie. Same size. Never mind. Alright, I want a gray backpack for just like general. And I want a green backpack for farming. And I can have the tracker cartridge. Can have all the farming things. Alright, what other colors? What else do I need? I feel like this could be general storage as well. Just with a slightly different color. Probably store extra cartridges in the mining section as well, so we can throw that there. Maybe even put like this guy here. Alright, what color should you be? Do I even need another? Of course. What for? Don't know. I'll figure it out. Storage is good. Okay, so now I am a bigger storage bank with a pretty absurd amount of storage here. And we can even like daisy chain them and just add them in the inside if we need to. We don't want to make it too deep. It's going to get complicated fast. That's good though. Having different color-coded black backpacks is helpful. I didn't even think about it, but can I name these? Come on. Let me call this electronic backpack. Or electronics. That's fine. Color coding's still helpful. Good enough. Alright, I think that is good for this session. That is progress. What did we do? We added a bunch of power. Power is now good. Tweak some atmospherics a little bit, so we'll start creating fuel here. Finished filling in our habitat to the point where we're no longer struggling to breathe at all or getting a debuff. Achieving a pretty perfect spot there. We got the plug-in for selling stuff to vendors. We sold stuff to make a little bit of money. We farmed some things and some stuff and refactored the furnace. Made that work better. Filled in the mall a little. Got to test it more. Look at that. They've all got something now. Isn't that beautiful? Very convenient. I'm definitely interested. It might be a few play sessions. But in the future, I want to plug these all into chutes with a dial to go to sources so we can feed our machines more easily and feed the furnace more easily. And then we can get that set up programmatically to automatically feed stuff. So that whenever materials run low, it'll feed things in. And probably we can set it up so that it'll block. If it's ever like, okay, I need to dump iron in a spot, but we don't have any iron, it'll block and like have a console light up and say iron or something. Then we can go out and farm, just feed the machine. It can tell us what we need. And we can just go get stuff, fill up a bag with iron or whatever. But that's good. Need to plug these into deep miners too. Get centrifuges set up. What else do? We did the volatiles and got the perfect amount to run the Stirling engines. Only got one of those out there, but we can use that as a power generator too. That'll get us through the winters, and that's probably the best way to make like remote power stations. If we need to, if we want to make an outpost and we want to power it, it's probably a lot faster to throw down just like a Stirling engine and a vent and a big gas container and then drop the programming chip into it. We can collect the daytime air and then use that at night to generate energy. And probably generate enough energy to keep some deep miners running or like run a little outpost. That might be fun to play with, so we can maybe do that in the future. But yeah, this seems good, making progress. And overall, getting definitely to like the mid-game section in a comfortable spot where we really can't die anymore. Everything is pretty controlled here. It's looking good. Got infinite food, infinite water, infinite air. Things are moving in a good direction. Seems good. I'm gonna look for someone to raid, and then we'll throw out a raid. I'm gonna take a break, give Kitty Cat some love, take him for a walk or something. And what else? What do we want to do next? Maybe more power. Maybe take a spin at getting these guys automated, or automating the furnace. I would love to have the alloys automated for us. That'd be fun. We'll see. Find out next time.